So, yesterday I saw the movie F1, and this is I guess this is a first impression video. I mean, I'm not sure what it's saying, but the so far thinking about it, the more distance I have from watching it, it becomes a more mature movie somehow. And it's, I don't know. But I want to talk about it partially because it was, it reached Best Picture this year. It was not, it was nominated for Best Picture this year. And the more distance I have from it, I'm starting to understand it. I'm starting to understand why. But I don't know. There's whatever they were trying to say with that movie. I haven't. It's confusing me, is what I'm trying to say. The movie is really confusing because, well, neighbor's cat just. Hey, how you doing? I'm sitting. I'm sitting outside. The neighbor's cat just showed up and scared me. They like to run around the garage. Anyway, the movie F1 is confusing me because I don't understand the tone. I don't understand what it was exactly trying to say. Um, what really stands out, I hate to say it, what really stands out is the victory celebration at the end. It's almost villainous. There's something extra happening in this movie, and I haven't been able to put my finger on it. The Usually in race movies, sports movies, there's a struggle. Someone is on the back foot. The team isn't doing well, and then some some hotshot driver. I'm thinking of Major League. Some expert shows up, and they really know how to fix everything. And then the team has to slowly adjust and become more like the expert is, and the expert starts to get life lessons about how they need to be humble again. And that's usually how those movies go. But but F1 seems a little different. This cat, the neighbors just got a dog, and it's about 3, 4 in the morning, and their cat's outside. And I'm starting to wonder if this cat is always outside. Well, what's confusing me at the end of this movie, when they're when the team wins, I didn't get a happy feeling. And I'm trying to go over the story and figure out why. Because once he hits the beach, everything everything felt right again. It's like a different understanding showed up. A completely different understanding of what the story could be showed up, and it said this is who this character is. And then I'm thinking that's not exactly a character piece. Uh, Part of it really reminded me of The Natural. And in The Natural, it was a, a baseball. It was like a Babe Ruth story where Babe Ruth, well, not Babe Ruth, but he was a home run hitter. And something happened when he was first starting out. And I don't remember what it was. He got shot or something. Something happened. He broke his arm or he got shot or something happened. And then he couldn't play baseball for the longest time. And then someone shows up and says, guess what? If you, I want you to be on the team. Or he gets the courage to try again later in life. And it's baseball, so it's really, they really know how to, they really know how to dial it up. Well, fast forward in The Natural is that movie where the baseball hits the sign, and then there's a giant explosion of light, and then he's running around the bases, and the music is really bright. But in F1, the victory happens, and this dark score starts playing, and the lead of the movie is a bit bashful. The upstart character didn't didn't finish the race, I don't think. Well, he didn't come in first. It's really confusing. Um okay, what I like about F1 was all the racing scenes. The racing scenes were really dramatic. The character of Sonny seemed neat in the beginning of the movie. And he seems neat at the very end of the movie. But something around racing, something he turns into someone else. I'm reading tone with this movie. He's a bright character, and then he joins the team and becomes a dark character. He's got his finger in people's faces. He's saying you're not good enough. He's pushing. He's pushing folks. He's got answers that no one else has, and when he shares his answers, is the idea is to race dirty, is to tear up the track and slow down the race. So that's the one. There's that one moment that made me look sideways at the movie was when it's Sonny's turn to be the hotshot driver. They're behind. His plan is to pull out the pace car. His plan is to tear up the track and get the pace car to slow down the race. And what that says is that's not. Whoa! Cat tried to jump on the car. What that says is that's not in the spirit of being a race car driver. He's not completely interested. The character of Sonny isn't completely interested in building a car, the specifics of building a fast car, the aerodynamics of what can we produce that's the best ever, how fast can this car go, what is the best speed that clock can be. That character isn't interested in any of it. He's just dialed in on winning. It's really confusing. I think there's something about this movie that's saying that the hero story, this race car hero story, isn't exactly saying, ta-da. The guy who was the guy who was behind got his chance, and then they won. And what a comeback story. What a feel-good comeback story. Your dreams can come true. The end. And then he drives on a sunset beach, and it's nothing but happiness. I don't think that's the story at all. There's something about the tragedy of him being hurt. It seems like he wants to get back at racing, or something, or maybe he never cared. I think he's damaged somehow. I close the garage door if it's quieter. I didn't I didn't finish this movie with as great of a feeling as I thought I would. But it made me smile at the end. He said something about it's not about the money. And he says it throughout the entire movie. It's someone who's willing, he loves racing. He's picked his profession, and he can't always do it. Which is really something to think about. It's a character who's willing to die in that car. He's willing to drive fast enough. It's something different. It's astronaut stuff is what it is. Because I've gone fast before in a car. It's not fun. It's fun, but what's not fun is if you make a wrong move. One slight twist or turn of that wheel, and you course correct, that car could wobble. That car wobbles and drifts, and it's fast, and then you're turning, and then you're spinning, and then all sorts of weird stuff. And I don't think people realize it, but when people turn their car, they do this cartoon gesture of, oh, I'm driving. And then once you're going 80, above 80, it's a micro adjustment. It's a micro adjustment, and the car is doing a lot. The car spins out of control. And those F1 cars, when I look at an F1 car, I usually think of the drag race cars. And those races they're like 10 seconds. They go real fast. It's a start and stop. Because they're trying to beat speed limits and test engines and whatnot. They run tests, and it's really interesting because is at that point, if the race only lasts like 10-15 seconds, it's not really about who's in the car. It's more about the team behind it. But the F1 driving it looks like those cars on tracks speeding around. And I forgot how fast they were going, but I think it's like 200 miles an hour. I think it's up to 200. Which is crazy. I've driven at 100 on a straightaway once, and I wanted to slow down. I immediately wanted to hit the brakes and dial down to at least 60 or 80. When I'm driving on the freeway, if I see a bunch of cars zipping by me doing 80 to 100, and I'm like, that's not comfy. Then there's Batman, and Batman was ready to die. He said that would be a good death. The Cape Crusader said driving fast and spinning out and dying in that car would be a good death. So it has something to do with how much control and precision it requires. He's mentally taxed. He's mentally taxed to get to the finish line. Um, I wouldn't call. I don't know what to say about the movie. I wouldn't call it a character piece though. I wouldn't call it a character piece. The while I was watching it, I know I feel like I drifted off talking about how fast cars go. But when I was watching it, I was thinking of the Ford versus Ferrari movie, and that movie's structured. I don't know. There's something about what they did with that movie where you actually care about the. I'm not. I'm saying it horribly. I'm saying they did a good job with that movie. It might actually make you cry. It's a really good movie. Um, F1, it has on first viewing, first thoughts. It has a story talking about someone who experienced a trauma. He was injured young, and he shows up to help a team with a young driver. He's asked to show up and help a team with a young driver. And the young driver feels like it seems like they care. It seems like they actually care about winning. They care about the winning. They care about winning. They care about the sport. He they crafted a character that isn't. I don't know how to put it. He's not flashy. He's dressing smart, but he's not flashy. Like he's not. They painted someone who's walking around like a hot shot, but he's not hitting bars and hanging out in clubs and getting in the fights, and he's not someone who's sloppy. It's not one of those stories where the hot young shot driver needs to be put in his place, where he's damaging the team in any way. That team seems a okay, and then they get an expert to come in to say how can we be a little bit better, and that's what those people do. They look for seconds. The race car people look for microseconds. Any sort of race people, Olympics, long jump, relay race people, sprinters, bobsledders, anyone dealing with speed, those people are crazy. They train to the point where they're damaging themselves, and they look for microseconds of, oh, this run, this is my usual. I increased half a second. And then they're going to go again, and then they're saying, in a year I increased my run over. I've pushed myself, and I'm 1 second faster. And that's what everyone's pushing for is I can do this a little bit faster, and then humanity is now what once when they were jogging is now running, and the norm changes of humans can run this fast now. I remember, I don't, it was some sort of, it was a lesson in high school of science class. I forgot what science teacher was going over it. It was about human evolution and how humanity is a learned species that has I forgot what the term was. It's not. Is group behavior? Is there some kind of behavior where it's learned behavior, where if one monkey learns how to get the banana out of the tree, then without teaching the other monkeys, if the other monkeys are around that monkey, they'll pick up through behavior how to get the banana out of the tree. It's the weirdest thing. Without teaching it, the knowledge of it spreads. And it's something that happens with people. I don't know. It was part of a science class, and it's real. Of if something that happens with humans, if a person learns something, how to do a task, then that information can be passed down. But the point is that the race car people are meticulous. And I started laughing in this movie because the expert that they bring in, his main idea, he says in the meeting, drive fast. I'll just drive faster. That's what this is. But he gets out on the track and he starts tearing it up. The first time he steps on the track and he drives their car, he tears up their car. He tears up their car the very first time. And he's standing there and they're like, what happened? And he's like, did you notice the car went fast and it's slow on one turn and it needs an adjustment there and there. I showed you your car needs work. And the thing's a wreck and they have to build a whole new car. And then later on, he's in lane 10. And he doesn't know how to turn the car on. And you're wondering if is he doing that on purpose or not? Did he say I'm gonna be slow here so that everyone watches me drive up and then I'm the center of attention? And then they're looking at him instead of trying to race the guy in front. What a dirty trick. And then fast forward, he's hitting signposts along the way. And throwing gravel on the track and tearing up everybody's car. He's doing things like if you get if you get too close to me, I might push you over to the edge. This is a race. In Days of Thunder, it was Rubbin's racing. And if you get too close, you'll bump the other car and they might die, but you'll zoom on. It's weird. So he he's not. It, there's part of this character where he's not 100% involved in the precision of racing. He's saying racing is the fun of it. Is ready, 1, 2, 3, go. I beat you. I'm a little bit faster. Like kids at play. That's not what the F1 series drivers are. Throughout the movie, his partner is the other driver, but kind of. He's a teammate. And he's pushing him and he's yelling at him and he's telling him how to talk to the press. He said they're not your friend. It's he has a tone to him and he looked like a playground bully. He reminded me of bullies from when I was a kid. But what I was thinking just a moment ago was he got injured. Is that this character isn't 100%. He's involved. He's involved in the sport of racing as a person, and I'm looking at the story. It might have caught up with him as a young racer, and then he's injured and he's not able to race anymore. And then he turns to gambling, and he's living on the edge of he's well, it looked like freedom. When this movie starts, it's such a pleasant atmosphere. He's living in a van. It's now that's something else to think about because I saw that and I said, wouldn't it be nice? He's living in a van and he's traveling wherever he wants to. And then when he wants to go to meet up at the sport arena, he's driving a different car, a Jeep, a European one. He it seems like he isn't struggling and he's living free. If he needs to do laundry, he just goes to the laundromat. Is an uncomplicated life. But later in the story, when people talk about him, they speak about him as if he's washed up, like he's living in a car. He doesn't have a house. He's at the edge of he's thrown to the wind. He doesn't have his stuff together. it's they paint him as some recluse homeless bum who's a drifter, who owes money, and you can barely talk to him. Yeah, the driving people have it wrong. It's a weird thing. So if the driving people have it wrong, then it becomes a bright story. Sort of. I That's what's confusing me. Because he wins at the end. And he does not care about the precision and all of the importance of driving. He cares about I think he just I took a break and thought about the movie a little more. At one point there in the film, there's a race where he I don't know how to put it exactly, but he picks throwing gravel on the road. He picks kicking up dirt and messing with people's tires, and it starts to rain, and he makes a call that's risky, and what it is risky in a way that risks the life of his partner. And the young driver ends up getting hurt. It's one of the coolest it's one of the coolest parts of the movie. What I really liked about the movie was seeing the tail lights go. There's something about, if I can tell, racing fans probably really enjoyed this movie, or people who are casual enthusiasts, because you get to see exactly how difficult it is, how dangerous it is, and then you're working with the kind of visibility that's not easy. And in that moment, you see red tail light, and then a body go, and then a gulf of fire, and a body go flying. And it's like, what the hell? But character-wise, what is saying? Oh, I don't know what it's saying, but I thought that's what happened to him a long time ago. It was a young driver got injured, and then he fell away from the sport. And the character knows how damaging it is because he loves driving, and he can't. He hasn't been able to do it as much as he wants to. I bet. The story starts out he's at Daytona or something. Now it's really confusing. Now it looks like he loves F1. He loves F1 and he hasn't been able to do it. And he's injured someone so they can't enjoy F1. So I don't know. Is this a moment of his lack of want for precision on the racetrack brings shame? And he gets cussed out by the guy's mom. There's basically two camps in this movie. There's the people who are race car drivers who want precision and pushing the sport forward, and they're trying to figure out how to gain millimeters, seconds. And he's like, just kick some dirt on the road and the other cars will be slower. Just have tear somebody up. And then we'll all be a little bit slower, and then I might edge my way past them, and then I'll win the race. Ta-da! And it's not exactly a celebration of the sport. And that's I think is built into the movie on purpose. Because by the end of it, he looks like a villain. He looks like a villain by the end of the movie, or there's something villainous in the cheer ceremony. But you're happy for him at the very end when he's on the beach and he's like, I just like the race. It's not about the money. The driving fast is fun. And everyone respects it. Everyone respects the astronaut. I don't know. It's then something happens where he makes a false deal to switch teams, and I thought it was a bit unnecessary to the story, but it adds character. It builds something. He cares about that team. That he cares about his friend's team. But if I'm gonna say anything about this movie, it's there's something to do with the love of the sport versus, I bet race car people have this conversation. The love of the sport versus the technical aspect. I bet there are people who have the conversation about the people who have the mindset, to the physicality, to be able to sit in the car and hone their skills to not die at 200 miles an hour. Are they focused on Days of Thunder? Or is it the Olympics? And what you have is a character who's from Days of Thunder. This character is from Days of Thunder. He's a cold trickle. Stepping over to hang out with the European Olympics crowd. And you can see it when they all run together. It's like this one is not like the others. It's like he's telling the nerds to calm down and enjoy your life. I don't know. I left the movie with a good feeling because of the beach scene. I even went back. The video cut off because of the credits, and it rolled over to something else. I went back and I watched the whole credits. If I have to, you know what? I have to look at how that race was won. I think it matters. If that race was won based on technical, then the villain music should be playing, I think. Maybe. Because that character is after something else. Anyway, F1 was neat. There's a couple things that I would have gotten rid of. I would have gotten rid of the romance stuff. It just had him try to talk Irish whenever he has to talk to her. I would have changed that villain.
Here's another cartoon song from when
the one where he tried to switch teams. I thought that was unnecessary. I would have preferred more race car scenes than that whole thing. I would have had Javier Bardem give a pep talk.
Start that puppy up. Here he comes,
about the joys of racing. Because the whole time I was saying, holy cow, this guy spent $350 million on car stuff. They go nose to nose sometimes in the story, and it's like he owns the team. He's like, I care about racing, and then you look at the other guy and he's like, he really cares about racing.
He's off the line as he guns the car around the track. He's jamming down the pedal like he's never coming back. Adventure's waiting just ahead. Go speed racer, go speed racer, go speed racer.
Anyway, by the time he hit the beach, I was happy again. I understood it. I understood it a little better. And I got the impression that he's never going to race again. he's not doing F1 anymore. He's doing whatever sort of race comes along. That was him riding off into the sunset, literally. It's not a bad movie.
Go speed racer, go speed racer, go. Go speed racer, go speed racer, go speed racer, go.